Today I wanted to continue my series on good militia combat loadout, something that's practical, and we're going to talk about the Line 2 gear. Now, first off, I'm going to talk about vests and, some things that will carry all of the gear and why I would choose what I choose. But anyways, let's go ahead and break this down, and I'll start off with talking about the little vests and the carriers. Okay, first thing I want to talk about is why I prefer to use things like vests over other things like chest rigs or molly systems. The first thing that I want to talk about is when you're using your gear, when you're starting to use gear, when it comes to molly vests, you have to find positions that you want to have your gear in. And magazine pouch is pretty much easy to do. You want to have it on your support hand side, but other administrative pieces of gear kind of move around a lot, and I think it's a lot better to go with something like these Arctis vests and just deal with what they have. Now there's different ways to go about this. You can get multiple vests like I did. They're really inexpensive, so you can spend all your money on molly gear and chest rigs that can be outfitted to different configurations, but that takes time. You can just whip on any of these preloaded. So anyways, as far as these vests are concerned, there's two different types. I have a recon and short-term vest, and also a long-term vest. This would be something that's I don't know how useful this would be, but some people might want to have more gear on them, a room for extra magazines, support, medics or something like that if you're a designated medic, or whatever. This may be good for designated marksmen or somebody just doing a little recon, as I said. And let me go over each of these. Now, both of these are in are Arctis vests, and these things are used by military forces. I know I've seen the French Foreign Legion wearing something like this. It gives you a lot of room. You have utility pouches, two utility pouches, one on each side on the same level. Then you have grenade pouches, which can fit any role, and then you have an administrative pouch right here where you can keep a multi-tool knife, a folding knife, some medical gear, whatever you want to use it for, and then you get 4 pouches. Each one of these will hold 4 AR-15 mags, Stanags, and I personally don't know how much you would want to carry. It can carry about 2 308 mags in each if you want to rock something like a PTR FAL or something like that. So beyond that, you have zipper pockets, and this one actually comes with a holster in here. So you have a little bit of a holster. I cut off the Velcro, and the pistol will stick out a little bit. If you get something a little bit smaller, it'll fit a lot better, and it won't really mess with you too much. But in my Line 1 piece of gear, I already have my pistol, so this is of dubious value. You could hold like Intel notebooks, whatever. You can even hold extra pieces of clothing like bandanas, medical gear. It doesn't matter. It's up to you how you want to use this. So in the Line 2 piece of gear, also another thing that you'll want to keep in mind is the ability to put a dump pouch on. Now, a lot of times if I was going to be using something like this, I would put this on my Line 1 piece of gear or my Line 1 gear and just put it on my belt. Typically it'll ride lower than this. This is adjustable for height, so you're not going to have to dink around too much with that. Basically a one-size-fits-all. And also on this vest, you can carry a camelback, but I'll go into the pieces of gear that I recommend, and camelback is not necessarily one of this. So this will kind of provide a little bit of support on your back. Of course, it is webbed, so it'll help with a lot of ventilation, which is very good. So you could actually use this as an improvised backpack, if you will. Hold extra mags. I wouldn't recommend carrying extra mags, but it's up to you what you would use this for. It's just a Velcroed little area right here, mesh. And anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the recon vest. Now this recon vest actually has a little bit more, well, just as much storage space, but without having to utilize a mag pouch in order to supplement it. You can carry 4 AR-15 mags in each, or 2 308 mags. So anyways, with that you do have 2 grenade pouches. Unless you're carrying grenades, I think this would actually work very well for some of the other pieces of gear. You do have Velcro and snap-on closure pockets right here, and the mag pouches are snap-on. Now, this does not have an area for a camelback. This is, like I said, very lightweight, but it does have very generous utility pockets. They're very deep, and also you have a little room for administrative gear behind the utility pouches. And of course, as with both of them, you do have, with this one you can carry smoke grenades or frag grenades. It's an extra little area to carry stuff. The other vest doesn't have that option, but there's not really much you can put in here, maybe a monocular or something like that. But you know, again, this has zipped open pockets that go all the way. This whole body right here, you can utilize the entire depth, and it does have a canvas lining, both of them do, so it's going to be waterproof. It's going to be very good gear. The good thing about this is you can actually break it down, and you know, you can, you know, take this webbing off if you wish, and you know, find a way to reconnect it. But it's going to be very interesting doing that. So anyways, I would leave it as is. This webbing right here provides very good back support, which is very important, I think. So you can lash some things on here, like a poncho liner or whatever, and with these D-rings, and also you can cinch down some gear on here, so that's very good. It'll help distribute the weight a little bit if you wish to use that. So you could probably lash on a butt pack or something like that, find a way or make it, right? So anyways, you do have adjustment abilities with this quick release buckle, and right here you do have adjustments for your size. And also on the shoulder straps, I like to ride it a little bit high, so I have them basically up all the way. I'm not really that big of a guy, so anyways, this does come with an extra buckle that laces through here, but I didn't really find it to be too useful. You already have two snaps right here that are adjustable if you're wearing body armor, so you can get it out a good amount. And again, one size fits all. They're quick release buckles, so nothing too, you know, hard about it. It's much easier to put on the something like this than it is to put on a chest rig where you have to kind of find the buckle or whatever. So it's a lot easier dealing with something like this that is very durable, and also proven by military forces that have to go on OPs and long-range reconnaissance patrols. Very durable stuff. And anyways, let's go ahead and get into the gear and where I would put it. Now, as far as the layout of this vest, it's also going to, you need to keep in mind that it's also going to be dictated by the mission of what you're going to carry. But basically, I have a few different things in here that may or may not be necessary. So first thing, of course, you want to have a good knife on you for close combat. I view this as only really necessarily being appropriate for a recon vest or something, because if you're doing reconnaissance, you obviously don't want to be seen and you want it to be lightweight, minimalist gear, because you don't want to be caught, and if you are, you may want a knife on you for defense or taking out sentries, whatever. So you're going to have a very versatile role over, you know, something like this, where you're going to have a lot more gear on you, and it's more of a long-term have everything that you need as far as ammo, long-term engagements, etc. With recon, you don't really want to sit around and play games with the enemy. So anyways, as far as this is concerned, of course, you can carry 4 AR mags on you, and as I said, with the knife, you want to have it very quickly deployable. Basically, this is a very good one, Cold Steel, the Cold Steel Kaboom, and this is a very good knife. I recommend Tanto blades because you want to have something that's very good at stabbing and has a very tough edge on it and a tough tip, because you can continuously stab, and also a good Kydex sheath that you can lash down like I did here very securely. Very good idea. So anyways, I already talked about the mags. So right here you can see I put the monocular in here, and let me go and zoom in a little bit. So as you can see, I put the monocular on here, and this has, you can tighten this down as much as you want, and once you tighten it down, it's going to pretty much stay wherever you put it. So as you can see here, you have the tension where you want it, and this has Buckles, I like buckles, very quick to deploy. You're probably going to want to pull out your little monocular pretty quickly. You don't need to have this little retention clip on, but you can if you want. I'll just keep it on. It really isn't doing anything bad for me, but you want to have, you know, the outside lens down. You can always wipe this area off. Being so close to the eye, it's not really going to obstruct the view too much. Now, reason I would do a monocular instead of binos, you're looking at long range, and binos aren't really necessary, I would say. And you can just use the scope on your rifle for that, but anyways, I'll just go ahead and set it in like this to where the snap closure will actually hold it down pretty good. And you have 3 positions on this vest for snapping it down, so you can do a double snap if you wish, and it'll hold it down pretty securely. So good retention. So with this side, I'm not really putting anything in this grenade pouch, so let's go ahead and move on to actually this side. So as far as the little outside utility pouches, I would say that this one would be good for anything that needs to be quickly used, but something like if you wanted to put the monocular in there, or a smaller monocular, then that's fine. This could also work for carrying pistol magazines if you wish, but being that you're lightweight, you're not sitting there with a sustained engagement with the enemy, you probably don't need to weigh yourself down too much. And if you saw my line 1 piece of gear, I have 2 magazines, one in the gun and a spare one. If you're down to your pistol, you're a little too close and it's pretty hairy, you might want to be quick on your feet rather than quick on the trigger. So anyways, you know, I'll go over here and I'll show you how I would use it. So you have this little clip right here, a little button closure, and I can carry 2 mags. It's the same in this little recon vest. You have a double snap closure, and you can put 2 or 3 pistol mags in here if you wish. And depending on how you set it in here, you can actually use the double closure, but with these mags, these Walther mags, I can only get 1 on. So anyways, very quick to deploy if you need it, or you can put it inside this Velcro and snap closure pouch. In this one, actually what I have is a laser rangefinder. Is it necessary? No. Somebody else could carry it if they want, or you can carry it if you want. It's up to you. But this is a pretty good size utility pouch. As with everything else, this does have canvas lining inside all these pockets, which will help you in the rain. So anyways, let's go ahead and move on to this bigger pocket right here. So in here, this is kind of my survival sustainment pouch. Not really necessary gear, but it's there if you wish. So anyways, I have a Surefire light right here. This is something I've had, you know, since the military. You can put this on your rifle if you wish, or I like the versatility, so I still have this thing around. It's a very good piece of gear to have, but you know, not really necessary. And I would probably go with a smaller, you know, little pin light if need be. But anyways, that's that. And also, I would recommend having rations. This is 3 400 calorie rations. This is about 1200 calories. So it's very good to have food on you in case your line 3 gear is not available and you need some Scooby snacks. So anyways, next is insect repellent. Pretty much everywhere you go, you're going to want to have insect repellent. Now, I do use FUBAR CLP, which I'll put a link in the description below, and of course you get a discount. I'll put that code in the link in the description below. So bug repellent, if you want to just use bug repellent, that's on you, but FUBAR CLP works as a weapon CLP, you know, an insect repellent, and also kind of a light sunscreen, good for abrasions and cuts as well. But it's really up to you what you have. So I personally like more versatile gear. So now with all that said, I'm not really carrying anything in this pocket. I would use like a notepad. I would put a notepad in here. It holds pretty tight against the body, or you can put it inside these zip closure areas in here. Inside here, I have medical gear. You don't really need to have your medical gear in here, but I do. So on the other side, I put the rest of it. It's not necessarily how I would lay it out. I'm just trying to show options. You want to have basically administrative medical gear, at least in your line 2. You know, hypothermia and stuff like that. And a semi you know, long sustainment. So if you have the time, do more dressings, have bandages, slightly redundant, if you will. So I'll go ahead and move this all to the side. And now let's go to this one. This is what I call my water-based pouch. And this is where I'm going to get into the reason why I'm not really a fan of camelbacks. So, on this one, this is my water-centered pouch, so I have a canteen. I like metal canteens because if you have to boil water, if you end up being in a survival situation, you're able to carry your line 1, you can boil water. I would break off this chain or unscrew it, whatever you want to do, and you can boil water, and you know, that's that. So it's good to have canteens. They're not going to explode, they're not going to rip, get leaks for the most part, etc. So you can have a canteen cup with you if you want, but I recommend metal over the plastic ones that are kind of current issue. So also water purification. This can actually be screwed on a bottle of water if you wish. You do have different filters, and you can also attach it to a camelback if you wish. But basically what I would do is I would put the straw on. I don't have the straw, I use it interchangeably with the life straw, but basically you can direct dip it, and you can take this basically this little adapter off, and you can direct dip it into water. So you know, it's a very good versatile piece of gear. This is your bite valve where you can suck in water straight from a stream, or, you know, even out of your canteen with the straw. So that's that. Very versatile piece of gear. Keep your extra filters and have it all in a Ziploc bag for being waterproof. You don't get your nasty germ-ridden crap, you know, into your water filters. And then I would recommend some water purification tablets. Now, it's not going to really kill off too many germs, but it is very good for eliminating most of it, and that's where the filter comes in. So if you get some nasty water, filter it with like your t-shirt or whatever if you can, and then put these purification tablets in it, and then sip it out of the canteen with a straw. So that's pretty much it for my gear. It's all pretty well essential, but it's really up to you how much into detail you go. You might just want to use a straw. You might not want to be a little redundant with the water purification tablets, and it's really on you what piece of gear you have. I think this is a little more versatile and a little more logical. You have 8 mags plus the one in the rifle, and it's really you can hold about 2 308 mags in each, so it's kind of versatile. You don't really want to stick around in a fight anyway, so you know, it would be a good designated marksman vest as well, since you're already going to be carrying around most likely a heavy rifle. And you can carry extra mags in this. You can carry like 6 AR mags, or you know, 4 308 mags, or whatever you can fit. So you know, it's a very good piece of gear to invest in. And line 2, again, very practical. You don't need to, you know, use a lot of gear, but again, mission dictates. So you know, you have extra areas for walkie-talkies, and you can decide what you want to use it for. I think a good area for a walkie-talkie would be right here, but you know, you can lash on some kind of, you know, system with this D-ring and have your walkie-talkie set up right here near your ear. That would be a good one too. Have it all on a low volume. But anyways, that's my recommendation for your Line 2 gear. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and also visit my blog at doitright.org for a little more information on your Line 2 gear and why I have my stuff set up the way I do.